Andrew, I want to know what you think about Halo.
Halo. Well, um, I definitely. I don't know if I was just too young or if I just. I know I didn't. I never owned an Xbox original, so I never owned the first two Halo games. But my neighbor had an Xbox original, and he would come over, bring it, and play NHL in front of me a lot because I was too young to play it. But I watched him play NHL at my house a lot, and then he got Halo 2, and we would play Halo 2 together, and I was definitely really bad at it, but I thought it was so cool. It just felt like I had played some video excuse me, some games like that before, but there's no better feeling in my opinion in Halo 2 than holding two SMGs and just going
Really?
and just lacing them into something. Like it was just I had never experienced anything like that in my entire life, and I was like, this is insane. And then the first one that I actually owned and actually played was Halo 3, and that game, coming from someone who is not that well versed in all the Halo games, that has to be the best one. Like the campaign was so fun. Played through it by myself on normal probably and was like, wow, that was fun. And then was walked through it with my friend and his younger brother on Legendary, and they were showing me where all the skulls were, so I got to get all the skulls on Legendary, and that was really fun to get the ninja armor, which was really cool. And that was like the first. I never, you know this, until Overwatch, I never liked like the online shooting games. I didn't like Call of Duty. Like I didn't like going in there and just like getting shit on by everybody else and being like, I don't want to practice this. I just want to play a fun game. Um, but that was like the first one where I would go in and play with my friends and do like custom games. Like I was like, dude, this is the game for people. Like the Forge, when they were like Halo 3's coming out, and guess what? Forge, I was like me and my friends made so many, like in the one map that was like an empty room, we would just put in like too much stuff and just like try to kill each other in this room that's just filled with shit. Or we would make our own like infection mode where like the zombies like invisible and really really fast, and everybody has a sniper rifle, and you're just like trying to find this invisible super fast zombie. And it's so
So
Halo
many
3 was
ridiculous maps.
really good. And then very recently I got the Halo collection and played through Reach with a buddy of mine, and that was really fun. But
Nice.
then it
How'd
notoriously
Steve like
like Steve, it was Steve. Steve really liked it. Steve was the one who walked me through Halo 3 also with his younger brother. But I'm sure, as lots of Halo fans know, the Halo collection, at least on PC, like doesn't really work that well
it? Yeah, it's
when you're
unfortunate.
trying to play with other people. So then we
It's
tried to
very
play through
unfortunate.
Halo 1 on the story, and it just like wouldn't work. So I haven't played it in a while, but
Yeah.
I like Halo, and I don't think that that's like necessarily a knock on the games. Obviously, I think it's just whatever Bungie or Microsoft just like not knowing what they're doing.
Yeah,
Um,
343 as of late.
right,
And for me, I mean, Halo's my favorite game franchise of all time. If I had to pick
right.
one, the best one, you know, to get cred and sort of keep the community and me in good terms, I'd want to say Halo 2, which is a phenomenal game. But I mean, Halo 3 is just a formative part of my life, honestly, which is
Exactly,
a
dude.
weird thing to say because it's
The
a video game.
Forge.
And the Vidmaster challenges, everything, all the Easter
Mm-hmm.
eggs, just so much fun, man. That game was so. And it's so funny that your moment is like holding the double SMGs. That's how'd you phrase that? You said that was the
there
moment.
was there was I just had never experienced any feeling like a double SMG to the face
Hmm.
in a game before. Like, I mean, I also didn't play a lot of shooting games, but it was like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah,
machine guns, and I liked the battle rifle. It was just fun. But then it was like, I was like, I've just shot like 400 bullets in 2 seconds, and like the needlers are cool to do that with,
hmm,
but like it was just I don't know. The SMGs just felt right, you know. Because I liked that with that game, the dual thing was on both things. It wasn't just like you pick up another gun
that
and now
was
you're
cool.
shooting with two hands. Like I liked the like first just like unloading both of them at the same time, but then like timing it so that you shoot one, and then while that one's reloading, you shoot the other one. And you just like alternate like that. Like
See, I never felt more angry than when I would start a game and that's what my loadout was. I hated double anything in Halo. All I needed was the assault rifle. You could
mm,
do something called a four shot. Four shots to the head, instant kill. Quickest way to kill someone in the game. A burst gun. All I did was four shot. And I used to get mad when I would miss one. I'd go like on like 200 kill sprees, and just like through the course of nights and stuff with like the homies back in the day. And yeah, so I hated.
what was your go to online mode? Like was it just regular Slayer? Was it SWAT? What was it?
It was SWAT if there was a big group. But really, shout out Ryan Greblick. Him and I were in like, you could get to rank 50, and I think the highest we got was rank 43 on doubles.
Mm.
Duos, it was like Slayer duos, and you know we'd fluctuate. Some bad weeks would be at 39, good weeks would be at 43. I think we like went out on a high of like 41 or something, probably averaging out, but we were pretty good. I mean, it's hard to like, it's
Well,
hard to
I've
be in
I've
there
played Halo with
consistently.
you, and I can vouch that you are probably the best at Halo at any game, and it's also like
Yeah,
you
for
know what
me
you're
as a
doing.
gamer, which isn't like saying
Well,
much, but yeah, I know what you
here's what
mean.
I'll say about
So
that. I think that your skill in Halo has just translated to all the other shooting games because I've seen you play Apex also, and you're kind of a beast in
yeah,
Apex too sometimes
yeah, when I want to
with
be.
with the right
I
loadout.
appreciate that. I appreciate. Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. So, with that being said, speaking of how things are going to translate, let me pull something up here, Halo related, and let me get like your just initial reaction off this headline, because this is why I bring Halo up. Halo
Mm,
TV series, everything we know so far from
okay.
PCGamer.com. Did you know this was happening?
Um, I mean, I remember they were always talking about a movie, and that everyone was like, Sylvester Stallone is gonna play Master Chief, and I was like, what the hell? Why would he do that? Like, he's Rambo. That's not who Master Chief is.
Right.
Um, and also now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like the Mandalorian tried to be Master Chief.
Explain that.
Like Master Chief in my brain is always just like he's never scared. He's a man of few words. He just knows what needs to get done. He doesn't get emotional. He's just like he's just a soldier, you know? He's just a soldier trying to do what he's supposed to do. And I feel like with the Mandalorian they were like doing a similar thing in the sense of like he doesn't say a lot and like he like like he's composed and stuff, and I just feel like it's like the same energy of like you feel the emotion coming off because he's human and like he says things and does things that are like good things or whatever, but
No, but I get the comparison because
I'm not
Master
saying that
Chief.
they meant to do it on purpose, but I just all of a sudden I see Master Chief and I'm like, dude, I feel like the Mandalorian was like a weird discount Master Chief in a way.
Well, Master Chief has never taken his helmet off, and his
It's true.
sidekick is a little hologram girl named Cortana. So,
True.
in this
Who is
regard,
sometimes on his side, sometimes not on his side.
spoiler alert, but yeah. And in this regard, we have Cortana who can speak very fluid English as opposed to Grogu, um,
Spoiler.
Grogu, whatever. But Baby Yoda, sorry if that was that a spoiler for you?
Well, I haven't seen that episode yet, but as soon as that happened, everyone was tweeting about it, and I've heard some people say that like knowing the name is a spoiler, but I don't know what that means. So unless it's
Yeah.
like knowing the name and
Listen,
seeing the episode is the spoiler, but I don't know.
there's
I
only one
haven't.
name you need to know. You and your dad knows what I'm talking about. God.
Oh my god.
Anyways, there's only one name that you really need to know. Then Grogu
Mm.
is not it. Is that how the kids say that? That's what they talk about, right?
Yeah, no,
That's not it.
that is not it.
Yeah, he is not it. So this kind
Um,
of makes me feel this initial Halo TV series thing makes
yeah,
me feel like this also could not be it because of the fact that we've seen how a character who never takes his helmet off can get critiqued. A lot of people like Mandalorian, a lot of people don't. And to be honest with you, I think the only reason the second season got better is because of the fact that they bring in more ancillary characters who take on bigger and more important roles in the plot who don't have a freaking piece of metal on their face the whole time so you can see their emotion and understand them more.
yeah,
So
that's
Master
true.
Chief does speak, but
Hmm.
honestly, most of the time, because you're playing as him, he's just shooting things. So
Right.
we will see
Which
how this show goes.
for a video game, he's one of like the best main characters ever.
He's there's no one better you could have come up with. Maybe Doom Guy is the only one who's better than Master Chief because they
Right.
did take a lot of inspiration from Doom Guy. So
Right.
let's read a little bit about this show because
Right. I think I might have skimmed this article at some point today.
I sent it to you at some point.
Then that's
Um,
why it looks familiar.
so after years in development hell, great start already. The Halo TV series is moving forward. Master Chief is headed to Hollywood. That's such a stupid. Oh man, with the TV series on Showtime, and that's what gives me a little bit of hope. Now,
Right, yeah. At one point in this article, like all the way at the end, one of the guys at Showtime was like, "Yeah, we worked a lot with this show to make sure that it like fits on Showtime and it's not just like a Halo show that Showtime picked up." Like, which I
right,
appreciate because I love Dexter, one of my favorite shows of all time. That's a Showtime show.
true.
I inadvertently, because it came on right after Dexter when it was on, I watched a little bit of Homeland, which I thought
Oh, that's
was
a good
well
show.
done.
That's a
Thought that
really
was
good
well
show.
done.
I
Um,
also only watched a little bit of it. Something about it, like once you miss that one day in a row of binging it, you just never go back to it. It's like that kind of show. Doesn't
Exact.
mean
It
it's
would,
bad.
dude. That's what happened to me with Heroes. G4 had a
Yes,
Heroes
dude.
marathon, and I watched all the episodes, and then I missed 2 episodes, and then I went back and I was like, I literally have zero idea what is going on anymore.
You know who the real hero is, right?
Masayoka's character.
Hero from Heroes.
That was him, right?
Anyways, yeah, it was. It was
Yeah.
just the Dwight joke TV show
Oh,
that we're doing. Whatever. So I was a little, Showtime. They're no slouches. They have some quality to their name. I also believe they have Shameless, which is one of my favorite
they
shows of
do,
all time.
yes. Well,
So,
the American version.
and I'm gonna highlight this: Steven Spielberg's.
Right. That
That is the
definitely gave me some
apostrophe S,
hope.
which shows ownership. So how do we go from development hell to then Steven Spielberg in a matter of a sentence? That's
Right.
pretty crazy, right? I know a
Right.
lot of people don't like Ready Player One, but honestly, I also know a lot of people who love that movie. I'm
I,
not going to watch it
I,
because Steven Spielberg
I,
to me needs to be immortalized in my brain, and I don't want to watch anything that's tainted from him because he's
I
just one
think
of the ghosts.
I very much enjoyed Ready Player One. I didn't read the book, so I don't know if that's part of the reason why people don't like it, but
We'll
I
never
thought
read
it
the
was
book.
really cool.
Whatever. The thing is,
And
whatever you see first, don't do the opposite. Is what I found from everyone because who likes both?
that's
Maybe
true.
Lord of the Rings fans. I think you got lucky there.
Yeah, that's true, but I couldn't read those books. They're just too dense and I keep getting distracted, but
Yeah.
I
By the
also
way,
am
something about
aware I'm aware of the differences from the movies and the books, and I really think that the difference in like the Lord of the Rings being like a good movie book adaptation is that Peter Jackson like loves Tolkien and loves the books. So he was like, I'm trying to make a good film based on this book that I love, instead of just like a studio being like, hey, we got the rights to Harry Potter, we need you to direct a movie. And he's like, cool, I got it. Like Peter Jackson like thought it all out. And
true.
like
They
when you
also
hear him
consulted
talk
with
about
us.
it, he's like always referencing the books. Like he's like, Tolkien wanted this, so we did this. Or if something's not in it, like Tom Bombadil's not in it, he has it like an actual explanation, not just like, oh, we ran out of time, or like
Hang
we
on.
couldn't cast it or something.
Tolkien? You put an I in there?
There is
That's
not.
it.
There
Is, but
isn't.
you,
And
but do you, I've never heard anyone pronounce the I. Is that
it's
how
J.
you?
It's not Tolkien.
Oh my God!
It's
You ended
J.R.R.
it.
Tolkien, isn't it?
I'm gonna hold it together because we're live right now. But I really am about to freak out. To be honest with you, I've never heard anyone say Tolkien. Tolkien.
I've. I'm not saying Tolkien. I'm saying Tolkien.
Keen. All right. Anyways, moving forward, and I think one of the reasons why the LOTR movies were so good is because they had Tolkien's son as one of the sort of consultants, sort of like how Elton John gave some critique and some input for the movie they did about him. He wasn't like officially attached to
Right.
the film. Anyways, jumping back into this article
Yeah,
because
I could talk about Lord of the
that
Rings all day.
that blew my mind. I can't believe that just happened. And so, by the way, there's something about pulling up an article on screen that just feels so YouTube in the best way possible. I don't know why. It's just making me really feel like on
It does
right
make.
now.
It makes me feel like a tuber.
It does. Like I pride myself on having there be no differentiation between who I am on and off screen, and I think that's true for the most part. But something about like this energy right now is very different.
It
in
makes
the
you
best
feel
way
powerful.
possible. There is a power to it, isn't there? It's like
Because you're like, I'm reading this and I'm giving my thoughts on it.
I'm giving you the information, right?
Yeah.
That's aggressive. Okay, but it's not. At least we're talking about Spielberg. Anyways, oh, what a show, man! I like this new format. Steven Spielberg's Amblin Television. Okay, so that's his company. Is producing, and we now know roughly when it's coming and who's playing some of the most important characters. There's not
Hmm.
much we know for sure about the content of the show. They're going to be Spartans, of course. Master Chief taking his proper place as the central character, so maybe your Mandalorian reference is all too true. Cortana as the baby Grogu along for the ride. And if we had to
Right.
bet on it, there's probably going to be a Halo ring too. Yeah, okay, Halo ring's kind of how they justify, like, it's like Doctor Who. It's like how they justify, like, time travel and crazy shit like
Right.
that.
Right.
So, 2021,
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not going to happen now. We know that
yeah,
because of
we can
COVID.
we can
So
skim through this. I mean, like, well, yeah, obviously. So I don't know anything about Pablo Schreiber other than he was on The Wire, and I didn't watch The Wire yet, but I've only heard good things about The Wire.
sure. And me too. I haven't seen it yet. I can't speak to it. But the one thing that did get me stoked when I was reading this article is they are going to be incredibly respectful of the canon. That is really cool because they
Right.
actually is a really rich storytelling to Halo. I don't know if you know this. The books actually
Right,
do
there's a
really
lot
well. A
of
lot of
right,
people.
yeah, there's a lot of novels.
Sorry, you go.
And so, well, I think that that's part of what they say in this is like they could either obviously there's a lot of like pretty cool moments in like the first Halo or whatever where it would be cool, but I think they were saying that they might be talking about like Master Chief's origins, so like we would see his face and then like maybe the fall of Reach, but
That could be cool. Oh wow, I forgot all about that. That was really good. Like the Halo games, man, the narrative's incredibly compelling,
yeah,
especially for
actually.
the decades that it came out in, when that didn't have to be a focus, you
Mhm.
know. And especially because of how revolutionary they were with the mechanics, with
Right,
the way they
dude.
felt as a first-person shooter. The gravity in that game is highly touted, and just so incredibly
Mhm.
groundbreaking.
It is
We
really
wouldn't
good.
have Apex, we wouldn't have Mass Effect, any of these types of games if it wasn't for
Dude,
like
Halo
their
Halo
physics.
was the first shooting game to have aim assist.
Was it really? Okay,
They came up with aim assist.
exactly. And that's
They
why it's
were
so
yeah, when
sad to
your
see how far
crosshair
they've
goes.
fallen,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
So I am stoked for Halo Infinite. We're going to talk about that in
Right.
this show in a later episode when we get a little closer to that. But I did want
Mhm.
to end the Halo discussion and jump to something else. So I just want to leave it with this, and then I'll obviously get your closing thoughts on all things Halo. But I do enjoy this. They're incredibly excited to navigate these creative waters and bring us something that is both respectful of what we already know and love, but also new and surprising and enthralling. So
Right.
powerful statement there.
And that's always the conundrum is like how much do you want to give people that's like, "Hey, I remember this because I played Halo and this is what I wanted to see was the moment the Master Chief did this thing and was really cool." Um and then also being like, "Ugh, they're literally just taking the game and just like making a show about it." And
Yeah.
obviously you can't please everybody and that's really the crappy part about that.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like somebody is not going to like this show, you know?
Yeah, it's
But
we'll see. We'll see what
but
happens
from
with it.
everything I've
So
read, it seems like they're really doing everything they can to like make sure it's like a good show.
they are,
So,
and I do respect that. It's
and they said because of scheduling conflicts, they had to originally the woman that's playing Halsey, the lady that made the Spartans and Cortana, she was also going to play Cortana, but because of scheduling or something, they had to get someone else to play Cortana, and they're just going to get the woman that played her in the games.
oh, that's really cool.
So we don't know if she's going to be like an in-person thing or if she's just going to voice a CGI thing, but either way,
I mean,
I'm
why
cool
would they
with that.
not do that, right?
Right. I know. When I read that, I was like, why would they have this person do both? I mean, I guess Cortana's supposed to look like Halsey, but either way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, man. When you say Halsey, do you mean like the singer?
No, I don't know if she's a captain or a professor. I
I know
just
it's a joke. Anyways, we're
well,
gonna get to the Spartans.
that obviously proves that the singer got her name from Halo.
True.
It's
It's not.
definitely not just an anagram of her name. It's definitely from
Yeah,
Halo.
it's not Ashley backwards. Anyways.